In 1965, brothers Tom and Frank McGee opened Mac Papers in Jacksonville, Florida. Paper was part of their family legacy, and they forged a new family business built on steadfast values, integrity, and innovation. These qualities continue to drive the company 3 generations later. This year, Mac Papers celebrates its 50th year in business. This is their story. In 1919, the land boom in Florida was in full swing. Jacksonville, with its new railroad terminal and port systems, served as the gateway to this new land of growth and opportunity. That same year, Clifford Graham McGee and his 2 brothers founded Jacksonville Paper Company, and through the years, the name McGee became synonymous with paper.
Growing up in Jacksonville, if you spell McGee the way we do, you're part of the paper business. So it's part of our identity.
By the early 1960s, Clifford's sons Frank and Tom had worked their way up in the Jacksonville Paper Company. In 1965, they were ready to strike out on their own.
There were some long-term employees that had worked with my father and uncle at the old Jacksonville Paper Company. Several of them followed Frank and Tom McGee to Mac Papers when Mac Papers didn't have the first dollar in sales. They trusted Frank and Tom McGee.
I was 10 years, exactly 10 years with Jacksonville Paper Company. I got this phone call from Frank, and he said, "Trotter, are you ready to come over to us?" "Oh, yes," but I said, I got to give 2 weeks notice. I said, I can't just walk off the job. But I said, I'm not afraid to go out on the line. I said, I think they'd take care of me. I tell you what, if it hadn't been for Tom and Frank, I would have not made it.
Starting again would not be an easy task, but with the support of loyal staff, suppliers, and the financial backing in place, Mac Papers began operations, and everyone around them was on board.
The biggest obstacle, I think, was trying to get the lines of paper that we needed to sell, because suppliers were questioning whether we would make it.
Banks didn't think we were going to make it. Suppliers didn't think, why do you want to go with this startup company? A couple of 30-year-olds, wet behind the ears, starting a new company, competing against all these old established companies. And they made it.
The first year would prove to be one of rapid growth. Opening the Jacksonville warehouse in January of 1965, they added Atlanta in March and Miami in April, creating the cornerstones of their rapidly expanding distribution network. First-year sales topped 2.5 million, and Mac Papers was on a rapid path to being a major force in paper distribution in the Southeast.
I believe we were one of the first 2 premium paper suppliers to get together to work with Mac Papers. So it really developed as a partnership relationship.
Over the next decade, the McGee brothers continued to surround themselves with dedicated employees that shared their vision, and the business grew tenfold, with sales topping 25 million. Tom and Frank's children began to enter the business, and as with all family members, they would have to learn the business from the ground up.
My earliest memories of Mac Papers was working in the warehouse in the cutting room, wrapping packages. We swept the floors first thing in the morning and everything. I couldn't leave till I swept the floors in the afternoon. And it may not sound like that big a deal, but when you're in about a 40,000 square foot warehouse, it is a big deal. My dad wanted me to experience every job that I possibly could. I worked in the warehouse, I worked at our envelope plant, I made deliveries. I did every job that you could possibly do, going up all the way up to running a branch and then being a regional manager. I worked in purchasing, worked in accounting, did everything.
I remember when I was in college, which would have been 71 to 75, talking to Dad weekly. Dad would always say Mac Papers had a record month, and it was month after month after month.
Summer times, my dad would take me into the warehouse, and my first job was walking around with a box that was bigger than me, picking up trash from the floor.
In March 1990, Mac Papers moved into a new headquarters, beginning yet another era of growth. With the wide adoption of email and the dot-com boom, now more than ever, Mac Papers needed to innovate and evolve to stay competitive. While the company enjoyed relationships with some of the nation's largest printers, it created mini Mac retail stores to give the medium and smaller shops the option of picking up supplies right in the store. By 2000, through increased sales, acquisition, and leveraging its distribution capabilities, Mac Papers had become the premier paper merchant throughout the Southeast. This foresight and desire to evolve would prove to be invaluable when the recession hit in 2008.
The economy got way ahead of itself. Just like in the dot-com boom or the housing boom, when things go too fast, there's a price to pay at the end. Our business went down 20% in a period of about 2.5 years. We very quickly determined that we needed to diversify, and we were fortunate that our customers, for the most part, use a lot of packaging. And so it was something that our existing sales force could go in and sell to the customers where they already had relationships.
Mac Papers emerged from the turbulence of the recession years as a stronger and more diversified company with expanded lines of business including paper and print, packaging, facilities supplies, and office products.
It's a great transformation for the company, and it's a great fit for Mac Papers. The footprint is there, the people are there, the opportunity's there. There's absolutely no reason why we won't succeed.
Today, Mac Papers is also positioned well for the future, in large part because of its employees.
Mac Paper has an incredible amount of great people. The people representing your company are the face of Mac, and I think as long as they continue to hire that level of professionalism and nice people that you want to do business with, they'll sustain another 50 years.
They have had a great ability to attract and retain very good people within their organization. That's also unique in our industry today. They have a company that people want to work for and that people want to stay working for.
This commitment extends to the third generation of McGee's, which have joined the ranks and are learning the family business from the ground up, just like Sutton, David, and Mac.
There are few merchants out there, and I'd say few organizations of any industry, that have the consistency of approach and vision that you see within the Mac organization. David and Sutton have it, and they've transferred it to the next generation that's in the business, and I think that will only do good things in terms of continuing that field.
I think they have a real passion for the business. It's, if not born into them, somehow bred into them that this is their livelihood, but it's also they have a passion for what they do, and you can just tell.
You know, people ask me why I stayed as long as I have here, and I really only have one answer, is I think the best is yet to come, and I want to be a part of that. I want to experience it.
To David Sutton, to the McGee family, and to the entire Mac organization, our heartfelt congratulations on 50 years in this business.
I look forward to continuing to grow and build with the company.
I pray for them to be here for another 50 years also.
Congratulations, Mac Papers and the McGee family, on your 50-year anniversary.
I think we'll have 50 more.
Happy anniversary, Mac Paper. Happy 50th. You're looking good.
Congratulations to Mac Papers on your first 50 years. We hope you have many, many more.
It has been a real pleasure being a part of this. We have exciting times ahead. Congratulations.
The history of Mac Papers continues to be written, not only by the family whose name the company bears, but by its employees, its customers, its suppliers, and those extended families whose lives are enriched by our success. Though much has changed, the words of C.G. McGee in 1919 still ring true. Encourage your employees to reach their fullest potential. Chart your own course, and above all else, be completely fair and honest with customers, employees, and suppliers alike. The next chapter is about to be written. Join us as we turn the page.